it's funny. Somebody just tagged me on Facebook when they saw this picture, and basically asking me, "Were you not going to talk about this?" You know, it's funny how people see something, and obviously because everybody knows I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan. When they saw this picture, it's like, "Hey, we haven't heard you comment about this. It was coming." But I think a lot of people are making a big deal out of this, and I don't really think it's a big deal. Listen, I am a huge Zack Snyder fan. I love pretty much everything he's done. I've also said that I don't think everything he's done is perfect. Man of Steel was damn near perfect. But he had a few haters who to this day still say that there was too much, or in that Man of Steel movie, there's a lot of damage. A lot of people died because you had two gods fighting. You had Superman and Zod fighting, and people didn't think that should have happened that way. Some people would say, you know what, Superman should have done something. Being able to move Zod to a different place where there wouldn't be so much devastation and obviously loss of life. And I counter that with we've had a lot of destruction also in the Avengers. Remember when they fought Loki and all those aliens from Thanos, right? A lot of destruction, a lot of people died, including Age of Ultron, when basically Ultron dropped a freaking city onto a city, right? When two gods are fighting. I mean, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, when Superman came back to life, he had no idea who he was. And he fought the entire Justice League and he wiped the floor with the entire Justice League. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Cyborg. They basically had nothing and could do nothing. And now you tell me when a Kryptonian and another Kryptonian fight, and when one has morality and compassion and love, and I'm talking about Superman, who would save a cat from a tree, to the other one who's Zod, who's hell-bent on destroying everything that is not Kryptonian. You're trying to tell me you can reason with that man when you're equally as powerful? Come on, man. Hey, listen. Zack Snyder's done a lot of good. I mean, Man of Steel to Watchmen, which is still one of my favorite movies, favorite comic book movie adaptations. I've said it, and I'll say it again. If you haven't watched Watchmen, way ahead of its time. If that movie came out now, it would do extremely well. He just did it at a time when, there wasn't this. People weren't really in that superhero, mood. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when Green Lantern came out, even though their story sucked. It didn't do as well. At the time, people weren't really gearing up to watch superhero movies. So anyway, for movies like 300, all these movies that he's done, and he's done them his way. People call them a little bit dark. I love them. So, of course, I love a lot that Zack Snyder has done. And he is quintessential DCEU, right? When we see him, we have fond memories. But when I see this picture, I don't react the same way people react. People want me to react like, oh my God, the band's back together and everything is back to normal. No. Listen, I've been let down by Warner Brothers and DC so much that this to me is just a picture. Some people are actually saying that this might just be a publicity stunt because obviously there's a lot in terms of backlash with James Gunn's Superman movie, right? With a lot of what we're seeing. And like I mentioned a couple days ago, they're doing a lot of marketing, doing a lot to really push this narrative that it's going to be a different kind of movie. He said he's going a different way. I remember him saying that he actually reached out to Zack about the suit. And we know that, he definitely did not take the advice. If he did reach out to Zack Snyder about the Superman suit, then he actually did not use any of the advice he got from Zack Snyder, because there's a video, and I'll share the link. Uh, I wanted to share the video, but obviously due to copyright, I can't really share that video. But I'll share the link. I want you to see just how detailed and meticulous Zack Snyder, uh, how detailed he was, how the entire team that he assembled, how much it took for them to come up with the suit and what they did, how many different iterations they went through. It tells you something when it tells you somebody not only is a huge fan of the art form that is comic book, but obviously also Superman, but that they wanted to showcase something that had never been done before. So yeah, I call BS that he listened. He might have sought advice, but he didn't listen. But anyway, so this picture to me, so yeah, some people are calling it a publicity stunt. James Gunn just wants to he wants to get those Zack Snyder loyalists, you know. Zack Snyder had he's always said he would love to finish his masterpiece, his trilogy, right? For we already know he had plans for Justice League 2 and 3, like they were already done, right? It is him and Chris Terrio, I think, is one of his writers. They were already in that process of working on Justice League 2 and 3. So I don't know, because he said he would love to finish it. He's also said that he would also love to do Frank Miller's version of The Dark Knight, and I don't know if he's going to do that. I honestly don't, because, what we've seen from James Gunn is he's distanced himself from the DCEU. One of the ways he's done that is he's building everything. He said he's building a connected universe. Now, he's going to have some Elseworld type movies, kind of like the Batman that came out with Robert Pattinson, right? Matt Reeves' Batman, because we're going to have sequels to that movie, but that's not part of the DCU. So that's an Elseworld. He calls them Elseworlds, right? Along with Peacemaker, right? So along with the Penguin, So those are all Elseworld, So they're not part of the DCU. So moving forward, if Zack Snyder was coming back to finish off his Justice League movies, then that would mean they would be part of Elseworlds. But that would also mean that he would have to bring back his original cast, meaning also Henry Cavill as Superman. And with everything we've seen, James Gunn wants to have his own version of Superman, right? I don't know if he would entertain the idea, because obviously the fan base would be elated. What? You're trying to tell me you're bringing back Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Ray Fisher as Cyborg, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Ezra Miller? No matter how much you dislike him, in Zack Snyder's movies he was pretty good as the Flash, and then obviously Harry Lennox as Martian Manhunter. All these are characters, with the version of Darkseid that we got. So I don't know. I'm not reading too much into this. So I doubt. And I also, is he allowing Zack Snyder to do his version of the Dark Knight, right? Frank Miller's Dark Knight. I don't know what he's doing. That would mean we would end up having 3 Batmans moving forward. Because with Robert Pattinson, we know we're going to get a trilogy. We know this. So he's going to play Batman at least in 2 more movies. And James Gunn has already said they're working on Batman Brave and the Bold, where it's going to be Batman and Robin. So that's obviously not going to be Ben Affleck, which would mean he's going to cast a new Batman. So if he's coming back to do his version of Frank Miller's Dark Knight, Zack Snyder, we're going to have 3 Batmans. And see, that would create superhero fatigue. That would be, again, as a fan, if it's good, I'm going to go see it. But, it would be too much too soon. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he's doing, because they haven't really said a lot about what this right here entailed. So I'm not reading too much into it. So I'm not going to be like, oh my God, yes, finally he's listening. No, no. Trust me, we've been disillusioned, we've been disappointed, we've been frustrated, we're sick and tired. So I'm not reading too much into this. Even if it was him hugging Henry Cavill, I would still not think this was anything. So for those of you who are reading too much into this, um, I'm sorry. I really am. I can't read too much into it because I don't believe this is anything but friends, because they are actual friends. Just meeting and him deciding to take a picture. And obviously, it is good for him being James Gunn, as a publicity thing, because we love Zack Snyder. The fan base loves Zack Snyder. And we don't just love him because for no reason. We love him because he gave us incredible content. Now, it's not for everybody. You're going to have haters. Even on this, even as I'm talking, there's probably somebody who's going to comment, Zack Snyder's movies are dark. They're not the same. They're not colorful. Color grading is, bro, I love his stuff because I'm telling you, you can take a comic book, take a page, and pause Zack Snyder's movies and look at them side by side, and you're like, that is like he has this uncanny way of shooting and having scenes just look like the comic books. Anyway, so his movies are not for everybody. Same way people would look at Avengers Endgame and whatever and Iron Man and not like them. You're not going to like everything everybody does. No. That's why we all have different opinions. That's why we all have different tastes, right? Not everything is for you. Zack Snyder is for me. And as a fan base, we love his stuff. So anyway, so don't read too much into this. Until they actually give us context, this is just a picture with two friends meeting up, deciding to take a selfie and whatever. We don't know. But I'm hopeful. I will say that. I'm always hopeful that we will get, because not finishing his Justice League trilogy is the biggest cliffhanger ever. It's like the end of Mother, She Wrote. I'm actually too old to remember that. I do remember that because I was forced to watch that show. If you're, even millennials don't know Mother, She Wrote. But anyway, so yeah, two friends, maybe having dinner or whatever. Definitely talking about DC, but we don't know in what context, right? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's anything, it's something, it's nothing, whatever. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.